We're back once again figuring out how to cook efficiently in an RV so we don't use up a lot of propane, water for cleaning up things, and doing multiple meals at one time. So tonight I'm going to have chicken and broccoli along with a cheese sauce that I'm going to make out of this powdered cheese sauce from Anthony's. I get that on Amazon. There's no food coloring. There's nothing bad in it. So you make a little cheese sauce. I'll show you how to do that. So I cooked the whole chicken. Cook it in butter because butter has butyrate in it, and our digestive tracts definitely need butyrate. So if you don't eat butter, you're not getting any butyrate. And I always go with organic butter. Anything that has to do with fat, I try to do organic. When you cook chicken, you cook it low and slow, and I put a paper plate over it. I'll show you how I do that, but just until it's done, and that way it stays tender. So half of it will be my dinner, and the other half I'm going to cube up and put in here. And what I have in here are vegetables I like. You want hard vegetables that aren't going to get soggy. So I use carrots and celery and green onions. I don't really like celery, but it kind of hides in here. And celery, I have since learned from the juice lady that it cuts the blood supply to tumors and cancer cells. So I try to eat at least one stalk, if not more than one stalk of celery every day. So I've got mayonnaise. I like this mayonnaise, the Primal Kitchen. It's like super expensive, but I don't use very much. This one jar will last me, I don't know, 2 months maybe. But it's got avocado oil in it instead of soy oil, because soy oil is not only highly inflammatory, it's terrible for men because it really slows down your testosterone production. So we've got the mayonnaise. I've got salt, pepper, turmeric or curry, whatever one. It's a whole heaping tablespoon. I like a lot of it. And if you're going to use curry or turmeric, you have to have black pepper with it. Otherwise, you can't utilize it as well in your body. Very strong anti-inflammatory. Raisins, or you could chop up an apple if you preferred. And that's it. That's all that's in there is the chicken. So I'll stir it up. These containers seal really tight. They fit in the refrigerator perfectly. And I can throw them into a little cooler that's just for the day and take it with me. This will give me about 2 meals. So with the vegetables, that spreads that one piece of chicken out into 2 meals in here. And I may do it in a wrap, or I may just eat it right out of there. I don't know. This one is broccoli. So this is half a head of broccoli. The other half is in there for dinner. So one knife dirtying and one cutting board dirtying, and this will go in here. What's in here is the same mayonnaise and the same salt and pepper. I've got the raisins and green onions, and then I like to use this stuff called monk fruit. This is the Chinese name, Lo Han Gou extract. I get this from Z Natural Foods. They used to sell them on Amazon, but now I have to buy it directly. That's all it is that. It's really sticky and powdery and hard to use, but it is a 0 carbohydrate, all natural sweetener. I put it in this old nutritional yeast seasoning jar because it's real easy to work with in here instead of in there. And also in here I have, it calls for white vinegar, but I use apple cider vinegar. I take my apple cider out of the glass jar, I put it in the plastic. I don't like putting it in the plastic, but I live in an RV and glass just isn't going to do. It's too heavy and too fragile. So a couple tablespoons of that. And then in both of these I put sesame oil, just about a teaspoon maybe. Sesame oil is extremely good for anti-inflammatory. It just goes down the fat processing block ways. And if you've got inflammation, nothing else is work, try sesame oil or tahini or whatever. That's also in hummus a lot. And then in here, I added nuts. It calls for cashews, but I'm lazy. And I picked this up for like $12 or $13. It's a whole great big bag. And it's at Costco. I think it's got a different wrapper now. And put a big handful of that in there and call it good. It's got some craisins in there, which doesn't really go with the recipe very well, but there's so few it doesn't really matter. This is also great for backpacking. So once I get the chicken cooked, not the chicken, the broccoli, I'll just toss it in there. Now I've got this salad as well, and that'll last me about 2 meals. All right, so I have the chicken on the heat. There's the butter that's underneath there as well. I have my fire on low. I'm using Blackened. It's by Chef Paul. I got it on Amazon. It comes in like a big 2-pound container. And then of course I put it in the baggie because it's easier to deal with. And I parcel it out in 1-inch baggies to, if I stay at a Boondocker's Welcome or something and they need a gift, I can give it to them, because if you buy it in the store, it's ridiculously expensive. Anyway, Blackened on the chicken. You can use 21 seasoned salute, what lemon, pepper, whatever terms you want, just flavor it. And then you need to cover it. And of course I'm cooking in a ceramic pan, because ceramic's really easy to wipe out with a paper towel, and then you can just spritz it down with some vinegar and wipe it out. Or if it's got meat in it, I prefer to use soap. And I've already put the plug in once, but I'm going to put it in again. My little loofah sponge. It doesn't smell, it gets dry really quickly, it does a great job. You want to make sure you get one that's organic or grown in the United States, because if they're imported, they are just impregnated with chemicals and pesticides that leach out. You can't clean it out, and they're also soft. I mean, look how soft this guy is, and he's dry. So there's other ones that you're going to get, are going to be hard and uncomfortable and not pleasant to use in the sink or scrub your body with or anything else. All right, I've flipped the chicken over. You can still see right here where it's pink. You really need to cook the chicken low and slow, because it's going to get real tough if you don't. So again, low and slow, put that over it to keep the moisture in, and check it often. I'll show you how I check it in just a minute. What I want you to notice on the chicken is that it's kind of wet on top, and that's letting us know that juices are bubbling up, so it means the center's probably getting cooked. So I cut a little slit in it, and we can see that, I can see, you probably can't see, that it's still a tiny bit pink in the middle. So this is maybe 3/4 of an inch thick. So we want that to just finish being pink, and then it will be time to take it off the grill, because remember, it still cooks after you take it off of the frying pan. The broccoli's finished, and I really like this pan. It's got silicone handles, it's got a silicone lid so I can grab it without it being hot. And it also has a colander in it, so I have this side and the big side as well. So without wasting a whole nother colander, I just take it, I throw it down my drain, I immediately put water on top of it so I keep the moisture to a minimum, because you don't want moisture in an RV. And then I put it on my plate. I'm going to make the cheese sauce after the chicken, because I want all that yummy chicken gravy stuff, and that blackened sauce or seasoning is going to taste fantastic with that cheese sauce. I can't wait. So for my cheese sauce, I have some heavy whipping cream, or actually it's half and half, a chunk of butter, salt, pepper, and some turmeric. I just want extra turmeric. And then the cheese. This thing never seals up here, so I put it in this baggie, so it's all down this baggie, and that's about half a cup. So I'm just going to dump all that in a nice hot frying pan once I take the chicken out, and just going to stir it down gently with my fork, because I don't want it to scratch my coating on this ceramic pan. So just like you would any gravy, just kind of go like that, and we'll have a cheese sauce to put on top of the broccoli, and dinner will be served. Chicken is done. I'll put on the plate here to rest for a minute. I'm going to pour in my contents. I normally wouldn't do it in a cup, but the cup was already being used. Oop, where's my fork? There it is. All right, so melt our butter. I still have the heat of the pan on, because I want all of this to get hot. Yeah, it's still on. So just getting it all melted. All right, once I grab all that good stuff there, I'm going to sprinkle the cheese on top of this, and we'll have a cheese sauce.